And so first, I wanted to take a minute to let you know a bit about the NEIHR, the Network Environment for Indigenous Health Research, is a program that is funded by the Canadian Institutes for Health Research. Qaujigiartiit is kind of like the coordinating center for the Nunavut NEIHR. And so we are made up of 4 organizations that make up the NEIHR. So Nunavut NEIHR Research and Heritage Center in Clyde, Qaujigiartiit and Qaujigiartiit. And so Research Week is an initiative that Qaujigiartiit has developed. And so it is the 5 days of learning for graduate students, our early career researchers, and anyone who is interested in taking on a role in research. We will have opportunities to get our hands dirty. This year's theme is arts-based methods, so learning about different ways of conducting research using the arts.
We want to support our students in a way that feels true to them in their hearts, because of the saying, that our elders have repeated many times: when you teach a child to their heart, their mind will follow. So it's a heart-centered way of teaching. And our NEIHR is centered around that concept, really. And that is why the annual Research Week is so critical, because they come together and they learn and they try new things, they support each other, they think about their academic experience differently, and hopefully, they go back to school feeling empowered in who they are, as Nunavummiut, and where they fit in this academic space that can be quite unwelcoming. And so the NEIHR, to me, is also about this transformative space then. So in academia, because subjects can be siloed, students are separated into different categories of achievement, the NEIHR is a transformative space for learning that doesn't work in that way at all. It's really like a grassroots, organic evolution of what post-secondary and graduate training can look like for our students, where our instructors are both teachers and learners. Everyone shares in the same space, and that learning happens over a lifetime.
Pimmario man. Ubungat tiya kulung ito isuma kano akisop tawa sunninga ikunga Qaujigiartiit tigasuttiarninga taanna pimmaruuti tiasuuriakku teema angerutigisimatiartaqatappani qeequjauqattatillunga.
My name is Alicia Elijah Teglik. I am 22 years old. I was born and raised here in Iqaluit until 2021, when I decided to further my education.
So I'm Karen Aglukak. I'm from Nunavut, but I'm living in Ontario right now to attend a master's program at Carleton University. And so Qaujigiartiit has invited me because I'm a graduate student and because I'm doing community-based research.
I actually received my Master of Arts in Leadership in 2021. And right after I received that degree, I started a Doctor of Social Sciences program in 2021. My research as globalizing Inuit Inoninga and deep colonization. Inuit Inoninga is Inuit identity, because I felt a lot of times that in today's society as an Inuk, you're being pulled in 2 different directions.
Josh Kumangapik Nguyunga, Iklimuyutayunga. My name is Josh Kumangapik. I'm from Italy. What brought me here is because I was one of the scholarship winners for the NEIHR scholarship 2 years ago for research work in contaminants in country food. My goal was to have my master's by 30, and I'll have it by 31. And then I'll just pursue my doctoral whenever I feel like it.
So, bunga Jeli Nukpatigu, Kamanito Amutayunga. My name is Jeli Nukpatigu. I'm originally from Baker Lake, but I moved down to Ottawa after my second year of NS. In this Western world or the South, they kind of make it seem like it's not good to do arts-based, I guess. But Inuit, that's how we survived for thousands of years, and I guess it's not programmed, but I don't know how else to put it, programmed in us. We're really hands-on and we learn by watching, and so this is what Research Week is about.
So I am Dr. Lisa Boivin. I am a member of the Qaujigiartiit First Nation in Northwest Territories. So I'm an arts-based educator. I teach people about how colonialism impacts the health outcomes of Indigenous populations. And I use arts-based exercises to help people envision and enact wellness. What I would like to do at this time, as you can see over here, I've got these little packages, and they each have an animal teaching and some day-to-day items. And I would like you to grab one and just pick whatever one you want. And while I'm talking, just look at it and see what you feel like.
Ulakun. Ipasa kulle umisano pilrilawata. Teema. Ukausa pisalauta butamakua sana uluyakta walmejo kulle umisano pilritilluta. Qauma yutitiava kanniu khatamimata kulle liritilluta taakua sana uluyannamo.
So what we're going to do today is to make a manguti that you can keep for yourself, and she said you can use whatever material is there and make it however you would like. There's beads and needles and thread and scissors over there, and all the sealskin are here. And she also has little patterns for little shapes.
Manali takayukutango tuinya tiallogo tapmungai nusu tuinyalloni tapmunga tikippa.
No, I want to make it like that.
Okay, sure?
Yeah.
What they have in the Research Week is, the arts-based methodology. We had a session on that, and then we also had a session on ethics, which both of these are, I think, very useful in terms of me being Inuk and academic, to fully understand what the process is, and if I did want to use the arts-based methodology, there's so many different options that I didn't even think of that existed. Storytelling, we're big on storytelling and arts and crafts as Inuit, and I think as part of my study, I'm going to be using my family story as a metaphor. So I was like, okay, I'm connecting the dots, and I think this whole week has been very useful just because sometimes I don't know who to approach or who to talk to, or yes, I have my supervisor and friends and family, but being in a setting where there's so much support has been amazing.
So what we really focus on in our work as researchers and learners, students and educators is this area of applied ethics. So you don't always know exactly what's right, but you know what's wrong. And it's really about ethics as a process for asking questions. Who raised you? Who are you? where do your ethics come from? That's what that question is really, in a way, getting at, is what is your ethical underpinning? Whose morals do you uphold, right? It's because this is the highest form of ethical behavior, really.
When you aren't raised to be a good, capable human being who respects other people, ethics is not about doing things right. It's about trying to prove you're not doing things wrong. And our principles are doing things the right way. It's the only way to get something good or beneficial out of it. So they go backwards. They're like, okay, this is the benefit I want, and this is how I'm going to get here, and then this is how I'm going to convince people that I'm checking the boxes of your ethics principles.
So Nunavut's research permitting and licensing system is quite complex. There are about 6 different research licenses that are required for research based on the type and the location of the study. We'll be talking today about the scientific research license that's issued by the Nunavut Research Institute. I should say that's administered under the Scientist Act.
So the highlight of this week had to be learning more about research ethics and how to get your license. I worked here at Qaujigiartiit last summer. I did my practicum with them, and I focused on Makimautiksak, which is a youth mental health program. And from there, I decided to do a pilot research project for this coming summer. So everything I learned this week has been helping me plan out what I could do and can't do for the pilot research project.
We're in the main laboratory of the Nunavut Research Institute here in Iqaluit, Nunavut, where we provide research and analytical training to Nunavut Arctic College students, and we carry out our own research and analytical work addressing issues of importance to Nunavut. We're very pleased to have in our facility a research associate position, and that position currently is filled by Amy Kahi, who is leading One Health research program looking at Inuit food security and traditional food systems in a changing climate.
The NSAP project really privileges Inuit knowledge to support food safety practices and healthy eating. Country food really has a very broad meaning, including for connection to family and to community, satisfying hunger and healing. And we talked about country food as medicine. There was a lot of conversations about climate and climate adaptation. And so ptarmigan's our theme of the afternoon or after the break.
The legs first. The head, the heart, liver. There's the meat. We can fry.
All the meat goes in here? The organs, everything?
Just the meat.
Just the meat? Yeah, it's an experience that is very hard to describe because the whole education institution system is not within our culture, right? It's something that comes from the colonial academic institutional system, which can be at odds with what we're studying and odds of what our philosophies are. So a lot of us have similar experiences, having to not necessarily go against our values, but have our values challenged. and having to stick up for ourselves. So it's very special for us to come together and share those experiences, and to know that like we're not alone in it, because it can feel like a lonely place.
I made a lot of good connections that helped me with my research project for graduate school. And not just connections, like I learned different methods and just like perspectives that I have applied to my research protocol and how I'm doing my community-based project with my own community.
Even the word theory has a totally different meaning in our language. So as I'm writing my dissertation, I'm going to be looking at, okay, what does theory mean for Inuit? And I'm also thinking of developing a theory from an Inuk perspective, using an Inuk term from an Inuk worldview that could be used hopefully in the future. It's just something that I'm just initiating right now, so I'm excited about it.
Western institutions need the word holistic because that's something that they strive for, whereas in Inuit communities, it's a product of who we are at our core. It's reflective in the work that we do when we're true to ourselves and when we operate in a relational way, when we value relationships over the number of papers we produce or productivity or XYZ. You know, it's a product of that.
Why we focus on this holistic learning model is because it is not just to our, it is just not just a cognitive, learning experience. It is us as a whole person. We hope that you can take something from this that can support you as a human, you as a student, you as a community member. So that's what we hope you can take from this week. What we've learned from our experiences through Research Week is that it is an opportunity for us to strengthen our skills and knowledge in research, in talking about and gathering what learning space looks like that is grounded in Inuit Iliseit, so Inuit methods of teaching, and also building relationships within this community of researchers, and just trying new skills.
This week was very inspiring for me to realize that there's a lot of work being done for Inuit-based research and research acknowledging Inuit expertise as its own science and having its own space in the world, which was extremely refreshing. And then to have Lisa here from her Dene perspective and to realize the parallels of the Indigenous culture and arts-based learning and how important that is and how much more relevant that seems. To be included in all of it was just, felt like such a privilege to be here, and it has been very healing.
As silly as it might seem to share a frog teaching with a PhD student about living in both worlds and making your legs strong to jump on those like really, really silly colonial university rocks or desks in the class, it has value to me, and I hope it has value to others.